All right, it looks like maybe everybody's joined at this point that maybe intends to join for today. So welcome. Welcome to this brief webinar on mindfulness and coping with stress. My name is Ester Odermatt, and I am a mental health clinician at the Northumberland Family Health Team. I just want to welcome you to the group today, and I'm hopeful that you find some information and things that we do today to be helpful for you. So our agenda today, I'm going to go over a couple housekeeping items. I'm going to talk about what stress is, the causes of it, how our body reacts to it, the relaxation response, and we're going to practice some mindfulness today. So just to go over a couple of housekeeping items, we will be spending approximately 45 minutes to an hour together today. I invite you to take breaks if you need to and do what you need to do on your end, but I shouldn't be going more than an hour. There will be no official break during this time. If you have any questions at all, feel free to pop them into the question and answer chat box that you'll find at the bottom of your screen. You can just type them in there, and that way your privacy will be ensured, and we're not able to take verbal questions. So if you do have a question along the way, feel free to pop that question into the chat box. Additionally, Karen Peters, who's our pharmacist at the Family Health Team, will be monitoring your questions, and we'll make sure that at the end of the presentation, any questions that you've had, she'll bring them to my attention, and we'll be able to answer them at that time. As stated in the previous slide, I will be doing some mindfulness practices today. I just invite you to join in as best you can. There is no judgment with mindfulness, so the idea is just to stay as present with what I'm leading you to do as you possibly can. If your head wanders or if you get off track, that's okay. Just staying as present as you can. So before we get going into some of the content for today, I am going to begin our time together today by practicing a brief mindfulness practice that I call soft landing. This is just in the intention of, we generally have very busy lives, and you've probably been doing some things before you came to sit down at your computer today to join me. So I just invite you to gently close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. If not, I invite you to just find something to focus your gaze on, maybe the floor or the wall, just a gentle, unfocused gaze. And then I am now going to invite you to just pay attention to your breath. Just notice what it's doing. You don't have to change it in any way. Just notice. Notice if it's fast or slow, deep or shallow. Just notice your breath. In and out at whatever pace it is that you're breathing. And I just invite you to notice anything else that you might be focused on today, maybe a worry that you have, something that you're stressed about, maybe some discomfort you're feeling in your body. Just notice and let go. Notice and let go. Notice the thought. And then take a nice big deep breath in and out. Notice any discomfort you might have. And then take a nice big deep breath in and out. Just notice what's been going on for you in this moment. In and out, thoughts that come and go. Maybe noticing if you're hot or cold. Noticing if the chair you're sitting on is soft or hard. Just noticing. And then returning your attention to your breath. Once again, just taking note of what your breathing is doing. And as we end this practice, I invite you to take the next 3 breaths to be nice, deep breaths all the way down into your belly. So in and out. In and out. And one last time. In and out. And I invite you to just give yourself the gratitude and grace of the fact that you just spent a few moments with me, settling into the now and allowing yourself to transition from everything that you've been doing today to the breath. And now allowing yourself to have this time and space to learn a little bit more about how to manage your stress. So first of all, I want to maybe talk a little bit about what is stress, which might seem a little bit strange because any of you who signed up for this workshop obviously know what stress is and are concerned about it in your life, or you wouldn't be here today. I guess what I would invite you to do is just know that stress is the body's reaction to a change that has happened in your life that requires you to respond in some way. And those responses are generally in 3 different categories. Your body responds in a physical way to stress, your body responds in a mental way to stress, and your body responds in an emotional way to stress. And each one of those things has to kind of be adjusted, or something needs to happen in order for the stress to take hold or for the stress to be allowed to calm. But stress requires you to react. If you weren't reacting, then it probably wasn't stressful. So stress is basically the concept of just feeling overwhelmed by anything that's happening in your life. So it could be something big that's stressful, or it could be something small. It could be lots of small things added up together. And as a result of this stressor or multiple stressors, you have an emotional response. And that emotional response you might be finding difficult to manage. It might be just feeling overwhelmed or tired, or not sure how to prioritize or what to do, or there's so many things that can happen, but our emotions kind of take a hold, and it's hard for us maybe to start managing the day-to-day things in our lives. So the causes of stress, well, they're very varied, as I've already mentioned. Basically, stress is anything that you personally feel is stressful and that overwhelms you to the point that ways that you usually use to cope aren't working. So you just feel that your go-tos don't work anymore for you. Maybe usually your go-to is to take a nice hot shower, and that just helps melt some of your stress away. If you get really stressed, then it gets to a point where that hot shower maybe doesn't relieve that stress as much as you would like it to. Okay. And research in general suggests that stress is kind of a normal part of life. It's not something that anybody gets away scot-free. We all experience stress at one point or another in our life, and most of us on a fairly regular basis. The interesting thing is that there are things that are positive sources of stress and negative events or sources of stress. For example, on this next slide, you can see some potential examples of what positive stress might look like and some potential examples of what negative stress can look like. So for example, I often say seeing family can be a cause of stress, and it can be a positive stress. You can be looking forward to seeing your family, but still wanting to maybe make sure that your house looks a certain way or that food is prepared. Or it can be a negative stressor because maybe you don't get along with the family member that's coming over. So stress can be positive. Having a new baby can be a really positive thing in a lot of ways, but it comes along with a lot of stress. Maybe, you're working and your employer changes your work hours. That can be a source of stress, even if the work hours are better for you. Money is often a stressor. We often think about it as being a negative stressor, but sometimes it can be a positive stressor as well. So as you can see, there's many things that can be both a positive stressor or a negative stressor, but the end result is that our body feels the stress. And because stress can come from our internal world or our external world. Okay. So physical responses to stress include fight or flight. So the concept of fight or flight is that biologically we are predisposed to have a response system that causes us to react when we are under threat. Okay, and the threat doesn't even have to be a real threat. It can be something that we think is a threat. So even if it's not right there in front of us right that moment, even just thinking about it or worrying about it, about the future, can cause our body to go into what we call fight or flight. So basically, this is your body's biological response saying, I need to do something about the stress that I'm feeling. Am I going to fight the stress that I'm feeling? Is there something I can do about it? Or do I need to run away from it because that's the best option in the moment? And I think that we respond both ways, given different circumstances. Another response that we sometimes can experience is what we call freeze. And freeze is when we don't fight or run, we kind of freeze and do nothing. And that's also based in biology, because sometimes freezing, you look at some animals, they freeze in the hopes that their predator won't see them, and then they run away. So biologically speaking, we are predisposed to have a reaction to stressful events, and that looks like fight or flight. And this can look like things like the physical responses to stress can be things like your heart racing, your breath rate increasing, feeling muscle tension. A lot of people maybe feel tension in their shoulders or neck or stomach when they're feeling stressed. Your metabolism can go into hyperdrive. Your blood pressure can either increase or decrease depending on the situation. Your digestion gets affected, your circulation can be affected, which is why maybe you feel tingly hands, or with your digestion, maybe that's why you run to the bathroom. Your vision can be affected. You can get what we call tunnel vision, or kind of big vision where just everything's kind of swimmy and fluid. And our hearing can also get hypersensitive, or it can almost like turn off, so it sounds like it's muffled. Okay. There's many other responses, but these are the most common physical responses to stress. And when we experience chronic stress, so chronic stress would be repeated stress over a long period of time, it can actually lead to longer term effects like digestive issues, reproduction issues. Your tissue doesn't repair as quickly. It can affect your sleep in a significant way. You either need more sleep or you're not sleeping enough because maybe the thoughts are just consuming you. and your immune system, your blood pressure, headaches, migraines, ulcers, mood swings, which is why it's important to see if we can catch the stress before it gets to that chronic long-term stress. But even if you're in the chronic longer-term stress, the strategies I share with you today will be helpful in helping to calm that stress response. Okay, and then there are emotional responses to stress. So basically, emotional responses to stress could include fear or frustration. Maybe you're more irritable or more sensitive to things that are going on around you. Maybe you find that you're anxious a lot of the time. You have a busy mind, or what we call monkey mind, that just can't quite settle. You're worrying maybe a lot of the time, which is leading to other things like lack of sleep or lack of ability to focus. Or you can get depressed. You can kind of feel more negative and lack the motivation to do even kind of the smallest, most basic tasks. These are kind of the big categories of what stress can lead to if we don't learn ways of managing and coping with stress. And then we have psychological responses to stress. So feeling alone and isolated, which is a big one for a lot of us right now with COVID. We're stressed out about COVID, and then we're already having to isolate, and then we feel even more alone. So we can have this feeling of aloneness and that nobody understands and nobody cares, which can tend at times can lead us to withdraw from others, pull away from people that maybe we do have in our life. And then we will also, or can also, stop taking part in activities that we used to enjoy. And then as a result, we might turn to some more negative type of coping strategies, which include maybe drinking alcohol, smoking, using drugs, those types of things that give us the relief that we're looking for, but then have other consequences in our life. So at this point, I actually want to kind of take a pause in education and actually take the opportunity to do a mindfulness practice with you. So mindfulness practices are a great strategy in reducing stress. So I'm going to just once again invite you to close your eyes if that's what's comfortable for you. If not, that's okay. Just try to find one thing to maybe focus your gaze on. And let's just begin by allowing your body to settle. Just settle into whatever seat you are on, finding a comfortable position that allows your spine to be long and upright. And just let, if possible, I invite you to let your belly and shoulders relax. In this practice, we'll be cultivating a sense of ease, openness, and space, despite difficult emotions. So as we start, I invite you to take a full, deep breath and a long breath out. I invite you to thank your body and allow it to feel nourished and fed in this moment. As you breathe in, imagine breathing all the energy and positive emotions that your body needs. And as you breathe out, let go of any tightness or tension you may be feeling. Breathe in warmth and openness. Breathe out tension and tightness. Breathe in warmth and openness. Breathe out tension and tightness. If you notice that any tension has arisen or come up for you in any specific body parts, just allow them, if possible, to soften on the next exhale. Feel free to move or shift your body if that feels helpful. Breathing in warmth and openness, and breathing out tension and tightness. Check in now with your mind. Are there any stories or things taking up space in your mind? I just invite you to let them come and go. Neither clinging to the thoughts or pushing them away. Allowing them to come and go as you breathe in and out. And now checking in with the heart. Are there any sensations in that area of your body? Is there any tightness or warmth or tension, or possibly openness in your chest? Just observing and noting whatever's happening without judgment. Breathing in and breathing out. Just noticing anything that you notice at this point, your breath, your thoughts, your heart. Just noting how you feel now. And as we begin to close this practice, I invite you to smile. And if it feels comfortable for you, I invite you to bring a hand to your heart and say silently to yourself, "May I be well. May I be happy. May I feel at peace." May I be well. May I be happy. May I be at peace. Knowing you can come back to this practice at any time when you're feeling stressed or upset, when you want to give yourself some space. And now let's finish this practice by taking in a full breath and a long breath out. And two more of those. A full, long breath in. And a nice long breath out. Thank you for practicing that with me today. I invite you to practice that as a way of coping with stress when stressful events happen in your life. And just maybe taking one more moment to just notice what your body is feeling now, where maybe you're holding tension or relaxation. Just taking note. Now, there's many ways that stress affects the body. I mentioned a couple of them earlier on, but I do just want to draw your attention to the fact that stress impacts the body in ways maybe that we don't even realize. So it affects our skin. Skin rashes can happen. We can have acne as a result of stress. We often, though, feel the stress in our stomach, which maybe can cause things like food allergies or stomach cramps or nausea. It can be related to irritable bowel syndrome and can lead to ulcers. So when we're wanting to practice that breathing technique of reducing stress by using the breath, we really want to be utilizing our belly. We want to be breathing full, deep breaths into our belly, noticing our belly rising and falling, and then breathing fully out and noticing our belly once again falling and then rising again on the next in-breath. This allows our stomach to feel more at ease, which is really good for our body and our stress. Stress can also affect our pancreas. It results in our insulin levels being affected, which can lead to diabetes or obesity or other health issues when our pancreas is being affected. As we all know, when we're stressed, our immune system kind of goes down the toilet. When we're stressed, we get sick much more often, and it takes us longer to recover from an illness. Our head, so our mood gets affected, and we can have headaches and problems concentrating. Our heart, so our blood pressure increases, which can lead to more serious things in the future, like heart attacks and strokes and higher cholesterol. Our intestines get affected as well, and our reproductive system. And for many of us, it actually also affects our joints and muscles. We have more inflammation, we have more aches and pains, more tension. We feel a lot more kind of tightness throughout our body. So we definitely want to be alleviating these symptoms as much as we can so that our body can feel much better. Because when our body feels better, then our emotions feel better. And when our emotions feel better, our body feels better. So one of the main ways to engage in reducing your stress or finding relief from stress is what's called the relaxation response. The relaxation response was a term developed by Dr. Herbert Benson at the Harvard Medical Institute. And basically what it means is your ability, so your own ability to encourage your body to release the chemicals and the brain signals that make your muscles and organs slow down and increase blood flow to the brain. So in other words, it's the opposite of fight or flight. Okay, it's the opposite of that tension of getting ready to run or fight or possibly freeze. It's the opposite. It's activating your parasympathetic nervous system for your body to just go instead of feeling tense. Okay, And the relaxation response is generally promoted through doing things that cause us to feel relaxed. Relaxed but engaged. So sometimes I talk to people and they say, I'm really relaxed when I'm watching TV. There is a form of relaxation that takes place when you're watching TV, but it's not activating the parasympathetic nervous system of the relaxation response because you're engaging your mind to something active in front of you. And it's being simulated or distracted versus your own ability to calm that response system within your body. Okay, so we're really just wanting to activate that relaxation of your body to allow everything to just take a breath and have your muscles and organs slow down instead of being on alert. Now, people often ask me, what does that mean? How do I do that? So there are some easy ways. Mindfulness. So that's what we're doing today, our mindfulness practices. Just breathing and noticing without judgment. Self-compassion is another one. So self-compassion is the ability to recognize that you're doing the best that you can in any given moment of any given day, and giving yourself kudos for what you're doing instead of judging yourself for what you're not doing. Visualization can be very helpful when we're trying to activate that parasympathetic relaxation response system. There will be a bit of visualization in the next and last practice. So I'm doing one more practice after this with you, where visualization and mindfulness will be utilized together. Progressive muscle relaxation is another relaxation response that you can do. There's lots of great ones on YouTube. If you just look up progressive muscle relaxation, it teaches your body to tense and relax your muscles. Other things like acupuncture and massage are great for inducing the relaxation response, though they do require somebody to help you. And we don't always have the luxury of that, whether it's due to finances or because we're locked in our houses because of COVID. Those are great and helpful, you don't have to utilize those ones. You can use the other ones that you can do just at home with just utilizing your own abilities in yourself. Okay, breathing techniques. Some people find prayer and meditation to be particularly helpful, and some people enjoy doing Tai Chi and yoga. And both of those, again, can be found on YouTube. And just I encourage you to find something that's gentle and not too hard, just something that can relax you and allow your body to calm. Okay. So for the last practice today, I'm going to, like I said, do one that is mindfulness and visualization together. So I once again just invite you to just get as comfortable as you can in the seat that you're in. We all get into stressful situations from time to time. And while we can't reduce or completely get rid of, I guess, or eliminate stress from our lives, what we can do is learn how to respond and manage it. When we encounter something that stresses us out, we want to learn learn that stress doesn't have to build into something more that then disrupts your daily life. When you are stressed, it's really hard to focus. On the other hand, when you're focused on something, it's harder to get caught into stress. So let's begin by focusing now. Once again, as before in the previous practice, just returning to the breath. Just once again, noticing the breath, feeling your belly expand and contract. Feel your chest gently rising and falling. Can you feel the air passing through your nose? Is the air warm or cool? And now let's focus on the next 3 breaths as each one unfolds. So breathing in as much as you can until you're brimming with air. Hold it for just a moment and exhale, allowing relaxation to come. Once again, pulling air fully into your body, holding it and exhaling, allowing yourself to become even more relaxed. This is the last one that we're going to focus on, so let's make our focus strong by fully breathing in, holding, and exhaling, allowing your body to relax even further into the seat that you're sitting on. Knowing you can keep repeating those breaths throughout this practice if that's what feels good for you. And now turning your attention to the visualization that I'm going to do with you. Now, if at any time the visualization doesn't feel right, just return to those breaths, breathing in, holding, and exhaling. Allowing yourself now to go to a place in your mind, a beautiful garden where you notice many, many beautiful trees and plants. Just being grateful for whatever you see in your mind's eye. Allowing relaxation to sweep over you, knowing that you are in a peaceful, safe place. Noticing there's a soft and natural path winding through the garden. And you begin to walk this path. There are so many exquisite plants that are creating the most beautiful flowers that you've ever seen. Noticing the trees around you that are thriving and tall and strong. Maybe the trees are gently swaying in the wind, back and forth, back and forth. And as you continue to walk down the path, you look down and take notice of the smaller shrubs and plants that are passing by as you walk. You can see leaves of various designs and colors. Some leaves maybe are waxy and more prickly, and some are more gentle and delicate. Just allowing yourself to breathe in the atmosphere and the calm of this garden. Take in a deep breath of the fresh air. And on your next inhale, just noticing any sense of flowers or shrubbery that might be coming to your sense of smell. And you notice the most beautiful flower you've ever seen. Its colors are shimmering and shining in the sun. And you gently lean over and take a nice big breath of its fragrance. The sweet smell of the flower allows the stress to ease in your mind and body. It allows you to feel relaxed and calm and at ease. Just noticing that flower and what it looks like and the peace that it represents. And then drawing your attention back away from the flower and just to the larger garden again, knowing that you are safe. And as you move away from the flower, continuing down the path, just thanking that flower for all that it gave you. Noticing the sun rays on your face. And just looking around and enjoying this peaceful, beautiful garden that you find yourself in. Knowing that if your mind has wandered, that's okay. No judgment. Just allowing your mind to come back to this beautiful garden where there is peace and calmness. And now, as we reach the end of the garden space on the other side, just knowing that you can come back to this garden at any time, anywhere, just by closing your eyes and imagining yourself in that space. Allowing your stress to melt away, giving yourself some time to just breathe. And now just allowing yourself to start noticing the room that you're in. Maybe just listening for any sounds that you can hear. Returning to the sensation of your breath. Returning to just noticing what your body is doing in this moment, of any tension it's still holding or any areas of relaxation you might have. Just noticing if any thoughts are going through your mind, Noticing the cool air on your skin or possibly warmth on your skin. And gently opening your eyes and returning to the room you're in by just taking a look around and identifying 3 objects in the room: a lamp, a table, a carpet, a picture, whatever it is that your eyes fall on. Just allowing yourself to maybe take a stretch, maybe a wiggle in your seat, and knowing that you can return to this place of calm whenever you need to. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed spending the time with you today, and I invite you to practice, whether it's this one or the first one that we did, or it can be just as simple as taking nice big breaths in and out. Any of those things will just help you with reducing that fight or flight response system and increasing your relaxation response, which will allow you to manage and reduce that stress response a little bit day by day. Thanks again for joining me. I'll open it up if there's any questions at this point that anybody has. You're welcome to throw them into the chat box. And I'll just wait just to see if anybody has any questions. I'll give you a moment to type them in. I see a thank you. You're very welcome. I'm glad it was helpful for you. And as I'm just waiting to see if any questions do pop up, I want to let you know that I will be running another group in about a month. Keep your eyes posted to the website and or emails that you may receive if you're on the list to get emails. But you're welcome to sign up for any future groups. And I hope that you found some benefit in the time that you spent with me today. I'm not seeing any questions popping up, and Karen's not letting me know. Oh, maybe there's one there. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad it was helpful. I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day today, and take care of yourselves, and hopefully I'll have you join and see you again in a month's time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.